So yesterday I got on the video a couple of chat with people about this bridge. Yes, I heard about the missile. Yes, I heard about the boat version. This appears to be a bridge version explosion. The blast broke the bridge deck, the girders, outside girders, broke it. It fractured. It couldn't, the cantilever couldn't support itself anymore. Let's call that a pier cap. A pier that it was on. There's a segment here also. The segment here appears to be bonded because it bent over like that in the part of the video we're going to look at. This section is probably, it's okay. So let's come over here. There's a section that is also bent over. It's in the video in the background, right here in the video. It's also at the edge there, draped over. Okay, so right about here, we look at the guardrail system. I want you to look at the guardrail system. When you see it, you can probably indicate where the blast happened, and it stretched the metal, tore it out of its position, and the blast is in line with our fireball up here. This was not a missile bridge attacks. I've been told, I don't know if you guys are up to speed with that, but I told you guys I've been really searching and diving into that a few weeks back. And I decided not to do this content anymore. But I found it interesting how the bridge behaved under a missile attack. That's why I was looking at the rebar, etc. It's pretty much, you can blast a hole in it. That was with the U.S. Munitions, I believe. You can pretty much blast a hole into the deck, and you can walk right up to the edge of it. It's like it just blast the concrete out of away from the rebar. And some rebars are missing, but it's a pretty clean break. Significantly clean break. You do not get this drooping effect, this drape effect. So this was the vehicle. Now I'm gonna question you on this. I know I heard about it's somebody who decided to do it on their own, right? This right here, right? Right, and they're praising him for doing what he did, considering it's a guy. All right, I want you to think about this. They did that. I want you to look at the brake lights of the vehicle as it goes up the ridge. What's the hurry? What's the hurry if you're going to do this? If you're going to terminate yourself like this, you would pick a good spot, wouldn't you? Let's say the person isn't educated on bridges and he did not know to do the arches. Part of that video I said, well, they didn't go to the arches. They should have went to the base of the arch, or even in the arch somewhere to help cause this to change the load dynamics of the arch and cause this bridge section to collapse. But he did not. I'm saying it's he. He did not. And so this begs me to wonder if this person was a voluntary, this word here, right? I'm trying to say suicide. You got to watch what you say. Were they voluntary, or was this somebody told, hey, transport the X? Did they hire this vehicle out? I don't want to know about the vehicle. Did they just hire it out to do transportation, loaded it up with these explosive materials, and then basically car bombed him? He was going over the bridge. Somebody else set him up to get terminated. And perhaps looking at a distance, they shot their load too quick. Perhaps they were following the person and waiting to do it, and they got scared. And again, that they shot their load too quick. Perhaps that. Perhaps they were using a drone to follow them, and they couldn't get the distance. Perhaps they didn't know. But I'm assuming they know that if military, to take the arches out. Unless your intent is just to take out a section of bridge, which is just stupid. It would be this larger section. So the question again is, Zelensky and them, they can't say they didn't do it. That looks weak, right? So you could say what? The Russians did it themselves. They only knew that they were going to take out a segment of bridge. So they order a truck up, tell a guy to transport it. He transports it over, and then they say, we'll make it look like a false flag. We'll do a false flag, and we'll get rid of a segment only. No big deal. and now we can advance our bombing. So yeah, I still support, the end of this whole thing, but this could be a false flag, or the Ukrainians, somebody shot their load too quick, or even the driver. But the driver never put on brakes. What's his hurry? He can put on brakes. He can come to an end, do his prayer, whatever he's going to do, and do his, nobody's going to stop him by the time he makes that decision. Let's look at the content. So there's the metal that's been distorted. This metal, the guardrail. All right, there's a brace, if you will. Over here also, that one appears to be bent out, or I have to look at the rest of the bridge to see if it's designed as such, like an offset guardrail. We can verify that. So it fractured. It looks like a clean line there. This is asphalt, obviously. Just looking at this, I'm learning from it as I look at it. This fracture. Yeah, it just makes sense. Even the size of it. The aggregates. There's stone inside here, guys. There's stone inside there. Asphalt. So we're looking at angle of incidence. On this side, the sun is bright, and that's why it looks like porous. And over here, it may look smooth. It's the same. They're the same. It's just angle of incidence. The sun gives us this, and same thing there. All right, so this person's pretty brave. They're standing there, taking an image. So now we look further down. All right. Looks like it's pretty much in plane. A little bit deflection there, perhaps. But the truck, I believe, as I told people last night in the chat that I was on, the base of the truck, probably just acted like a Claymore mine. And when this went off, this plate drove down, but here are the tires. So the force was increased, exceeding the bridge deck's capacity to hold it. So here's the truck going over, right? Let's just do that, like a truck like that. And there's your contact points, these tires. And where it's not, I'm not going to say it's going to blow the tires off and push the bottom of the truck down into the deck. No, we're not going to say they set it up that elaborate. It's going to be driving the tires down. So our point loads are the tires, the rims, after this thing blows. Then you got these point loads of the rims. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Let's do this, the tire rims. So tires, a tractor trailer, I believe, like that. So tire. So you put and then the tractor up here, the driving vehicle. So you're going to get your driving here. You're driving down into the surface here. The back wheels. This could, if it was here, this could act as a blast. It could separate that and act as a blast plate, driving it down to the deck. Kind of an elastic action, though. It's going to be kind of a bounce. It's what you think of also in the blast is overpressure. The overpressure that's created from the blast. All right, so it's in a confined truck. It blasts. These are just thin wall aluminum. It counts as nothing besides unit and projectile. The floor deck is of wood, probably, or steel, but not flat, not plate steel, guys. This would be like, it would just be like a truss, a girder system, and then like this. This would be wood planks. So let's do that. So 2 outside girders, and then your wood planks. So you explode that, you blow this off, you get this wood driving down with the girder. Perhaps both girders driving down, and you just get an impact on the deck. It's elastic. It's got a little bounce to it. Drives down, but it ultimately, the deck gets overloaded because of the increased load that the blast creates. Whatever this bridge is designed to take, 100 pounds, 150 pounds per square feet, it gets overloaded per square, whatever the square footage is, load rating, and it gets overloaded and the girder fractures. This bridge deck, I think, has multiple girders, and then your floor beams going across, your concrete and asphalt layer. Let's go to the video. And so now we look at the other section. There's your guardrail. There's the dotted line, and it's hanging. I don't believe it's at touching the floor of the water around us. I think this is little deeper water than that. So it's almost like these pieces can go back in. So here's our break. Let's see if we can line that up with the guardrail to the left, if the guy rotates. Okay. So there's our guardrail. This one's bent out. So we put the tractor up here, unless you count the tractor. You put explosives in the tractor also, the driver. I can't imagine that being connected to the deck across from it, and it ripped away. So this is probably the blast, maybe where the truck was, and the blast point is here. Let's go back a little further. Tire, and then we get our fracture. There's our blast, our outward force. I think I'd like to see it on the other side also. And we have our span that went over. Remember, right here is it's on top of a this pier system. Pretty nice system. I'm going to take a little liberty here because I'm going to go this way with it now. And so it probably is bought in segments like this, but here's probably a plate, and it probably fractured on a bent on the outside of the plate and the steel bonding like that. This is stronger than just this plate area here and here. So this would be our deflective area here or on this side. Pick your poison here. Let's see if we can get closer. Interesting, the pole. I always love watching the hurricanes and see how poles make out. They're round in nature, how they're anchored. The overpressure gets equalized pretty fast. And look, it's about 90 degrees. It gets away with it. I look at the palm trees too and see how they react. Okay, we see in the further distance, we see the pier cap there. It separated itself. Here's a pad, and here's a girder. And let's say there's a pad over here, another girder here. And there's a little joint there, and that's probably there. This one they obviously did not have an open joint like that here, or we'd see two segments in the ocean, or it's not connected like this. So that's why I put that plate in there like that. Bolts. Okay, so the plate, so they tie it, they secure it with an expansion joint, probably there. It can be any detail, teeth or not. They're pretty elaborate, but it's not designed to hold all that bridge cantilever. This becomes a cantilever from here to here once this fracture takes place. It's the vehicle up top, the truck up top. And let's see, front wheel. And as you blast, it creates that separation here. This cantilever is here now. It can't hold it. It drapes down, and we're looking at it in the background. It drapes down. As it goes down, it pulls this guy down also. Interesting how it moved off to the right. Maybe because this is the pier cap, and the bridge might extend over like that. So this extra load out here might have caused a little bit of when he blasted the bridge, might have took a little bit more of a rotation, a vibration, a shake, a rattle, and then displaced over here. It's going to make it easy to remove it. They just come up here and remove it, or if they even care about the water below, they might just demo it and let it go down to as a seabed for fish to make into a coral reef. Okay, so blew the railing off here. Blew the railing off there. So there's this guy. Let's see, and we've got 1, 2. So they were. Oh, I blew the railing off this bridge. This is this deck. Yeah. This is A lot interesting right here. This is on a different side, and there seems to be a gap of well, these little ladies here. Interesting. This looks like a repair, doesn't it? Look at the concrete. Looks like a repair itself. I don't see it down here. Something a little funny and fishy in Denmark. What are the odds of that? Maybe the person that let's go two ways. Let's try to debunk me. Maybe the person that 86 themselves scouted this first, and they assumed that this was a weak section because of the repair. This repair doesn't look like much to me. It looks like I mean, you cut it out, you dowel this in here. You put a floor down, you run the concrete, the rebar, tie into your rebar dowels, top steel. And then you pour the concrete, let it cure, and then you put your railings on it. It's definitely, let's see if it changes colors as they turn left. It might just change colors. It just could be, a color problem that I'm looking at. No, that's looking like a repair. So maybe the person who scouted it thought it was a weak section. Now this is leaning away from my false flag to more like the person didn't know that they needed to make it up there. Maybe they panicked. Okay, let's go. That's a fire, so nothing to show me. Oh. The railing, though, looks like it's blasted off here. Well, there was a car that went by. I wonder what happened to that car. That car looks like it's pretty close. I think that car went down. I don't think it made it past that blast zone. Oh, something at the bottom. Okay, there's some railing. I wonder if they use fire trucks to put out the fire. They just let it burn out. Yeah, there's the railing bent over, so part of it tore off. And on this side of the road too, it looks like that repair again. Look, see the coloration? Very interesting. A whole lot more railing. All right, so some of this railing got blasted over. Oh, and when it got blasted over, check this out. Look at the force of this. When this got blasted over, like imagine a 2x4. Here's this railing, and this railing's here. Imagine you had a 2x4, and you were to swing it, a piece of metal, then, if you will, and swing it down. And when it hits this, what's going to happen? It bends. Look, it bent over. So then it elastically hit, and then it had to return. It had a little elasticity to it. It bounced back a little bit. And that's its new position of not actually touching the railing, but below it. Or it impacted it and drove the railing down to some degree. It looks like they did not. It looks like the railing's about the same. So this railing here whipped over under high speed. And pivot point back here on it. And whack. And it kept going over the bend. That's my position on that. Oh, and above, you see the segments. So here's a segment, and here's a segment, and there's the gap between the segments. This is the pier cap, with its details for railroad. Again, the person would have waited here, would have been much better. Oh, wow, this thing is there's a fire truck there, it looks like. Look, right there where I put like an in by mistake. I meant to do this. It looks like a fire truck. So this elevation looks like the bridge deck is up here. Looks like this deck is definitely something weird going on there. Because there's a pier cap here. Yeah. Oh, this bridge did have an upper and kind of weird like that. They bypassed each other, if I remember seeing a video once. It was kind of weird. Let's go. Okay, yeah. So here's the arches. You think they would have waited to get between the arches to do something, or at the end of the arch to get lucky. Between the arches would have been probably more significant. All right, there's another video of, they said Russia attacked a bridge. No, they did not. I'll show it to you. So they're not securing this. Look at that boat going by. A single boat. Oh, it's just a fresh fire. My fault. Still a fresh fire, so. All right, let's do this. So I just jumped out and went to BBC here. They have a flyover. That looks like our blast zone there, doesn't it? And it went over there, so part of it would go out to the water that way. So let me clean that up. So initiating truck, and then it's interesting, the blast profile. Let's go like this, and you can see the gradation. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna mirror it. Okay, yeah, I can see that. There's a segment loss. There's that red truck. It just makes me wonder, like I said, did this person... oh yeah, there's another verification that it goes up and down the structure. Look to your left. See how it goes, dips down and comes up? I think I saw that a couple times here. There's elevation change there. I don't know. They didn't do it to the other side. The other span. So the segment breaks. Let's look at that. No other vehicles here. This is what, fire related? Is this fire related? I doubt it. It's pretty. This distance is pretty great, but this blast still made it to there. Alright, no parts of the truck seem to be evident, but the truck is down here. It's part of it's here and part of it's in the sky. Looking for brake lights. Look for brake lights. It appears where you think he would have waited, but he did not. There's the yellow. It seems like an elevation change. Lights. Okay. Let's go.
Is the bridge the Kremlin built?
See, no brakes. He never hit his brakes. Never hit his brakes. Never hit his brakes. It's not like he's going to live from there. He could have taken his time. I'm thinking somebody set dude up. Dude didn't know it was the end of his life.
It is the bridge.
He's still moving.
Kremlin
Still moving.
built.
Still moving. No stopping. That car next to him, done. That car next to him, that's the one that probably got blasted over to the road next door.
And it was under attack.
Okay. I'm looking at the thumbnail.
To the sea.
We already seen this. So there's a structure. And there's a vehicle. It's about mid-span. That would create if you can get a bridge deck to fall down ×2. And in that case, we saw what, 2 pieces go down. You get 2 segments to go down. You may be okay create an equilibrium problem where the top of the structure will want to rotate over off of its connection here, or it might strain it and crash it, or torque it. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking real fast. The base. Probably your least effective. You get luck on that. That's some serious concrete. So we can see what he can do with a tractor trailer. And, you know, it messed up some guardrails. Maybe 2 segments. But clearly you don't have to do a suicide bomb to do that. You know, you could run up there and try to, you know, stop, slam on brakes, do that, and try to run and get back off. You could do that and have a boat coming over and drop down, rappel down to a boat and try to get away if you really were, you know, had a government effort behind you. But this appears to be one man. I think he got set up. That's what I think. I just paused this part of the video. I just found a few seconds later. I'm looking at the guardrail. Looking at the blast pattern. It just skips across the deck. The deck is flat. There's nothing for it to grip. Nothing for it to cause overpressure to tear apart. Overpressure. You need that overpressure.
Different scenes here.
Okay. A lot of that's raining down debris, you know, coming back down.
Pro-Kremlin commentators have blamed Ukraine.
Okay, so it's a high railing and a low railing. All right. I gotta adjust things for that.
For the explosion, but there's been no.
And looks like it's designed that this will be the wear replaceable layer. All this asphalt, and this concrete might have like a step on it like that. I'm thinking, and then your wear layer goes in here. It's an interesting detail.
No claim of responsibility from.
Yeah. I'm not thinking of it as repair anymore. This right here. I'm thinking this might be just, you know, their design detail. Asphalt, concrete, guardrail.
Kiev. It is noticeable how the situation.
It's a new structure. It's only 2018. It's only 4 years old. I'm looking at the thumbnail below. All right, let's do one more. So I bring you to NOAA. Overpressure, also called blast wave, refers to the sudden onset of a pressure wave after an explosion. All right, let's just say that was sea level. Let's say that sea level is 14.6 atmospheric pressure. The truck explosive forces going out might create, let's just use 1,000 pounds per square inch pressure. All right, it can't do it forever, no more than a bullet can travel forever. But it does it within, it does it up to the train, or it does something up to the train. All right, it didn't lift the train over, so you know the forces are limited to, it couldn't rotate the train over. You look at the track, see how they deformed or not. You figure out how much does it take to, how much does it take to bend that metal in certain distances. And then you go, oh, okay, it would take us, 500 PSI to bend the metal up there by the train. And then you do your deduction. You do your distance, right? And you go, okay, this is 500 PSI. How do I get there from here? If I do a 500 PSI explosion, well, I'm only going to go out, let's say 1 foot or 2 foot. So you can figure out what it took to get to X, to get to that bent railing. Once you find bent railings up there. But let's use 1,000 PSI of overpressure. So it amounts to, all of a sudden, the atmospheric pressure around you is 14.6. It goes to 1,000 PSI coming at you. So this is where it's going to crush your eardrums and everything else. It's just going to be instantaneous, if you will. I'm taking liberty saying instantaneous. Nothing's instantaneous. So it's instantaneous to go to 1,000, from 14 to 1,000 PSI. You're not going to be adjusting. You say goodbye to your eardrums, your eyes, and your skull, etc. There's just too much of a pressure wave. Blast wave, they call it. Think of it as a pressure wave. All right? Blast wave, pressure wave. As it states here. Oh, wait a minute. It states it right there. Onset of a pressure wave after an explosion. All right. And it's energy stuff. Just think of it as the air around being it's 1,000 psi or whatever it might be. So I found this nice little article for you. So this is a atomic hydrogen type explosion, and 20 psi heavily built concrete buildings are severely damaged or demolished. Remember, it's a lateral force on it. It's a lateral force, and the structure is not at 20 psi. It's not designed to take 20 psi. It might take 200 pounds per square foot, not 20 psi, and it's everywhere, and it's a one-off impact. 200-pound 2x4, going at it. But it's designed to work on the compression and not in this direction, and not in the panels out of plane direction. So this way is impact out of plane, this way coming down in plane. That's how it's built to withstand with some rigidity from typical storms. This is beyond typical storms, 20 psi, and you can see the other notes here. You can look at it yourself. And these don't get it confused. PSI is per square inch. So this is 1 inch, 1 psi. It's 144 square inches in a foot. So that's 144 psi. PSF right there. But it's the whole entire panel, not just a one-time hit. And then it matters how long that pressure is maintained, before it's quickly reversal of that. So if it does deflect and it doesn't break under that load, when it no longer has any energy behind it, it will go from that, let's call it the 50 psi, 20 psi up here, it will go back down to 14.6. And that will cause a rebound of the glass, for example. And that glass just went flex too much and came back too fast. And it might shatter on the rebound. So for clarity, I think I did say about 1,000 psi, right? I should have said per square PSF. And you can see the correlation. I do that sometimes when I'm talking to you guys in the videos. But this is a 50-second explosion after a nuclear blast. You can look it up yourself. And you can see what miles per hour you get. Miles per hour, don't worry about that unless you're in the stream that all of a sudden you get hit by a 300 mile per hour object. This overpressure, the instant overpressure is what's going to get you. In this case, it says the peak overpressure is 10 psi on this one at 50 seconds after the explosion. Well, I don't care about 50 seconds, do I? I want to know what it is distance-wise, the psi. And overpressure atomic archives. I'm looking at the notes here. And, it went around in circles, huh? It came back to the same article. So, to end this video, I want you to think of the atmospheric at like 14.6, and then the overpressure is instant 50 pounds above that. So you all of a sudden get slammed with 50 pounds PSI. Can your body take that? Well, on this planet, sea level is where you're going to get your highest livable rate that you're just going to live in. Around 14.6 or so. You got to go below sea level to get an increased overpressure. As you go higher, your pressure gets lower. But 50, nah, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. What's that? 64. You're gonna get dumped right into 64 psi. Say goodbye to your body on that one. It's gonna, and it's just not. You're not that telephone pole. It's not gonna go around you. It's gonna. You're gonna hit. It's gonna hit you like that wall. Oh, don't worry. It's only gonna hit you at 934 miles an hour here, so you'll never feel it. So what I did for you, I wanted to give you an idea. You guys ever dive in a swimming pool and have to pop your ears? Swimming pool, you're only 6 foot down or so. Well, this would be equivalent to being 115 feet below sea level. It is salt water, so forgive me for that one. But it's 115 feet. Well, it's 100 feet. No, this one's water. This is not seawater. Okay, I did a different conversion. Well, you're in fresh water, in a lake, and you go 115 feet down, instantly, you are so screwed on this. All right, love you guys. Take care. Oh, and this is why limited nuclear weapons work. The blast is only what the blast is. What stops the blast from propagating more is it no longer has the ignition source, and the atmospheric pressure is still there. It's compressing the air. The blast wave is compressing the air outwards, but that air is also, it's still a lot of back. It's still 14.6 all around, let's say at ground level, at sea level. And it can't maintain it as it loses its energy. The 14.6, our beautiful atmospheric pressure, returns. All right? And it all becomes stabilized all within a moment, in an instant. Not like you can go in there pretty much after the blast is done. You can walk right in there. Done. It's over with. So this idea of limited nuclear weapons really does work. The buildings really do eat up. They don't want you to know that the blast buildings eat up that pressure wave. They'll create a lot of projectiles, things like that, but they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know about that this stuff really can be used limitedly, because it's scary, right? You don't want the people to think that. It's scary. As far as radiation goes, don't trust me. Look up a guy. Look up a guy for you. Look up my man. Hold on. So I like looking at the atomic and hydrogen. I always think of the hydrogen bomb as the fuel is also the humans. But here's an atomic one. And this one took place in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And these people their DNA turned back normal. The Japanese still look like Japanese today. So it doesn't permanently cause a permanent defect for a group, for the nationality. So yeah, you'll screw up some lines of people that might still give birth, but the line will correct itself. So thinking long terms, they don't care about us humans, right? So what would they care about? That defect. All right. Take care. I love you guys. You can go down this whole rabbit hole if you want. I did this as a reply to somebody said, well, I'll do a video. I already did one on this on Rumble. It's a different bridge, but someone wrote me to, Russia hits bridge in Ukraine. I wrote false. All right. They thought they were attacking the bridge back. I mean, it does look that way. I want you to fast forward this one for you. Look at the, let's see if that works.
Looks like they hit.
Okay, right there at the bottom left, you guys can go to this video and look at it. There's an R. This bridge is missed. So this tells you what? Extrapolation. Russians have very accurate missiles, and it appears to come in this way and go this way, or there's an explosion down there and it came up. You don't see the missile come in. Diabetes? Is that what that is? These skin tags? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Something grossed me out. Skin tags are one of them. All right, so I think it's diabetes for a lot of people. So there's the bridge. This tells you the Russians have very accurate missile location, etc. Missile location. I didn't say bombs. Whatever it is. There's a one-off bomb missile. I think they were going after something at the bottom of the bridge. My video is titled As You Saw It, if you want to come here and look at it. I was just calling somebody out saying it's false. Made a video for him and posted it. Take care for you people.